You know what, John? A lot of the talk right now has been about this Chamber Bay golf course. A lot of guys had to come out early to see what this course is all about, especially the front nine.
Oh.
There's a couple of key holes here that these players really need to hone in on, and even their caddies had to get here early so they can give their players just a little more notion about what they will have to need when it comes to figuring out how to play these first front nine.
Well, no, these guys have been out here for weeks. Man, and Mike Jones.
Mike Jones
of the USGA. I remember when we came down here for Media Day, and he put it out there. He said, hey, guys, if you want to be successful on this U.S. Open course, you need to learn the course.
Oh, man.
Well, Kirby's going to give you a little lesson
Most
right now.
definitely. The preview of the first front nine coming up right now. The Chambers Bay Golf Course is 7,585 yards of sand traps, bunkers, and hills, which round up to be approximately 7 miles of terrain. In this year's 2015 U.S. Open, there are a couple of key factors about the golf course that can make or break someone's chances of becoming a champion. Let's start with the first hole called the Puget Sound, and the USGA Executive Director Mike Davis has the option of making this hole a par 5 or a par 4, which is the difference of 598 yards for the par 5 or 496 yards for the par 4. That alone makes this hole interesting when it's played as a par 5. There's a lot of room off the tee, but potential wind can cause problems. Now, if it's played as a par 4, it will hold off the green with the middle iron. Golf pros are saying the potential score for this hole will be an average of 4.4 and 4.8 for the par 5. We now move on to hole number 3, and it is a par 3 course which is roughly 163 to 198 yards. It is a link style kind of golf, meaning that it mirrors the British Open and golf courses in Ireland. The hole has many slopes and fescue grass, and the bounce of the course may play a factor along the grass if a ball lands in that portion on the sides. We're now at hole number 4, where it is the first of 4 long par 4s. This stretch has nothing but sand, waste, and scrubs, and it may be the toughest because of the steep hill these golfers will have to climb to get through this hole that is 495 yards long. And the final key hole in the front nine is hole number 7, which is a par 4 at 508 yards. It looks a lot like number 4. There's lots of wind and lots of angles approaching this hole while having to climb up 50 feet and making sure that this ball doesn't roll back down. The architect of the course, Robert Trent Jones Jr., called this the nemesis hole for what the players will have to get through to make it happen. Yeah, so that was a preview of the first front nine. Next story will be the back nine, the couple of key holes that are right there. And Mike Davis, the executive director of the U.S. Open, he specifically did the first and 18th hole, either a 5 or a 4 par. So you never know. Out of those two, you get 9 par out of there. So big things happening there, and just a lot of mixing up going on with this one. We're talking about high steeps, high hills, bunkers, all these kind of situations going on in this year's U.S. Open here at the Pacific Northwest at University Place, Washington.
I love it. Plus, it's an 8-mile walk.
Oh, man.
Right?
Huh?
I mean, it's crazy.
We're feeling some of that walk, aren't we, sir?
You got it. All right. Well, join us throughout the week for extended coverage of the 2015 U.S. Open right here.